Gaia needs you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Play, Rank, Share, the show where I play the marquee PlayStation 5 titles, create an ever-evolving ranking of the best PlayStation 5 games, and share my opinions with you. My name is Tyrus, and this episode is focused on Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. Based on the tabletop role-playing game, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood had a chance to fill a hole in the current gaming landscape. There have not been any notable werewolf-themed games as of late, and I was excited going into this game to see what it brings to the table. I also am not familiar with the larger Werewolf the Apocalypse franchise, so I was curious to understand more about it through this game. Sadly, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood does not deliver on any front. I think one of the most egregious aspects of the game is the overall graphical fidelity. The game looks how I remember PS3 games looking. For a game currently retailing for $50, Werewolf does not offer any sort of graphical capabilities that is expected for a game at that price point, especially on a brand new console. The cutscenes are not impressive either, with just a few camera angles being used and no increased detail present. I even wonder if premier PlayStation 3 games such as Uncharted 3 look better than Werewolf. I do not think graphics should be a huge barometer in the evaluation of smaller indie titles, but when a publisher is charging $50 for a game, I think that it is important for players to know what they are getting into. The poor graphics of Werewolf could have been forgiven if the gameplay was enjoyable, but what I first found fun quickly devolved into a repetitive mess. The game primarily revolves around putting the player in stealth and action sequences. You first enter a room hunched down as you slowly traverse in a stealth segment. Your objective is almost always to reach a certain door to continue the story, and you can quietly take out enemies on the way. However, if you are seen, the enemies will attack you and you must trigger your werewolf abilities. Your character is significantly stronger than most of the enemies you face, leaving the key to winning these smaller battles to be repeatedly mashing the square or triangle button and occasionally healing. The battle system is largely simplistic and easy, and I never lost more than once in any encounter. The game advertises that your character can exist in 3 different forms: human, wolf, and werewolf. However, the uses for each of these are limited. If you are engaged in combat, the only form you can use is the werewolf form. The general wolf form is only ever useful when you have to travel large stretches or sneak through vents. The rest of your time is spent in human form, which is also how you navigate the stealth portions of the game. I wish there was more fluidity and uses for each of these forms to spice up the repetitive gameplay. While in werewolf form, you can switch between 2 stances, one that is more agile and another that is stronger. When facing some tougher enemies later in the game, it is useful to switch between these 2 stances, but you do not need to about 90% of the time. The game does offer a simple upgrade system, and I did enjoy not being overburdened with upgrade choices like you are in many modern games. I did feel myself become more powerful as the game went on, and noticed how it became significantly easier to defeat a variety of enemy types as the game progressed. The story is also paper thin and reminded me of poorly written action movies. I was disappointed by this because I wanted to learn more about the broader Werewolf the Apocalypse series. Aside from a montage cutscene in the first couple minutes of the game, there's not much explanation to the overall lore of the universe. The plot feels unoriginal, with the antagonist being mega corporation Enron, who is destroying the environment. I think the plot would appeal more to the fans of the tabletop franchise, and some things went right over my head. I wish the writers did a better job explaining the gist of this world to the player base to help them understand as they played. To avoid griping about the game over and over, the short of it is that Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is not a good game. The graphics are poor, the story is not satisfying, and the gameplay is very repetitive. Playing this game felt like a time capsule back to the PlayStation 3 generation, where as a kid I would pick up random games to play and just kept playing them because I had nothing else to do. It can seem alluring to pick up Werewolf because there's a real lack of genuine PlayStation 5 games releasing right now. But saddled with a $50 price tag, I cannot recommend anyone pick up Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. The game was decent enough that I finished the 7-hour campaign, but my desire to finish was driven to fully express my thoughts in this review rather than the game itself being a draw. If you are still curious about picking this game up, I would wait until it's on sale for around $15 or so before committing. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is a bad game, and I give it a final score of 4 out of 10. When debating Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood, the ranking instantly has to go to the bottom of the list. The only question is if I rank Werewolf above or below Godfall. I spent some time thinking this over, and while I also dislike Godfall, I am going to rank Werewolf at the bottom of the list. The main distinction between these two games is that Godfall does have stunning graphics that are some of the best on the PS5. I did enjoy Werewolf's upgrade system better and thought the gameplay at the beginning was more fun, but overall I just think Werewolf does not offer a compelling package. Thank you for watching this episode of Play, Rank, Share. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when future episodes are released. With no notable PlayStation 5 games on the horizon, it looks like I will finally have time to beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so look forward to that review in the coming weeks. If you want to see trailers for Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood, make sure you check out my reaction on our show, The Hype Horn. What are your thoughts on Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, don't stop sharing.